All right, let's look at 6.5, adding and subtracting mixed units. So when we operate with mixed units, kind of like we did at the end of that last section, but it's not really looking at remainders. Adding and subtracting, it's similar to carrying for addition and borrowing for subtraction place values, right? So if we go back to some old addition, like if I said 15 plus 48, right? You'd say, well, I got 5 plus 8, which is 13. Then you carry the 1, because in 13, there's one 10 that can be carried into the tens place value, right? And then this would be 63 like that, okay? It's going to work the same way with units, except for we have to think about how many of one of the units makes up one of the bigger units. Like with the addition right here, it was 13, right? So 10 of these 1 units make up one of these bigger units. Okay, so it's kind of like going back and looking at these numbers in standard form. So if I said 15, instead of 15, let's say it was 10 and 5, right? And then 48 would be 40 and 8. Well, this would be a total of 50 and 13. But then we add the 10, these 10, over here to make up one of these other units. All right, so we end up actually subtracting 10 right there and making this 3 and this one 60. So it's 60 and 3, which makes 63. Now that takes us back to, I think it was module 1, maybe 2, but hopefully that kind of makes sense, because in this section, for example, time, right? Time, seconds and minutes, right? If I had more than 60 seconds, I could convert that into minutes and then carry it over just like we did there. Well, the same thing works with borrowing with subtraction. If I took 52 and subtracted 17, like this, right? Well, you'd say, well, 2 isn't big enough. Just looking at the ones place, the smaller units, I don't have enough ones to take 7 away. So what do? I borrow from the 5 and make that 12 instead. 12 minus 7 is 5. 4 minus 1 is 3. And then you have your answer. Well, it's the same idea as we did up there at the top with the addition, but now it's with subtraction, right? You've got a 50 and a 2, and over here you're going to subtract 10, and over here you're going to subtract 7. Well, the problem with that is that 2, I don't have enough ones to take 7 away, so what did we do? We borrowed a 10 over here, made that 12 ones, and then we dropped the 50 into 40. All right, we'll go into more detail with this, with the mixed units, but again, if I were to compare seconds and time, you can't take away 2 seconds. I'm sorry, you can't take away 7 seconds from 2 seconds. You need more seconds, so you're going to have to borrow from what would be the minutes. That may not make a lot of sense now, but hopefully it will by the time we finish this lesson. So we'll start with addition. This one's good. We got 12 hours and 40 minutes. You guys see how this breaks up like we did with changing the numbers into their more expanded forms. And then over here we're going to add these 3 hours. So 3 hours and 50 minutes. Well, when I do this, and yes, this is all addition, it doesn't matter which one you start with. So you could start with hours, you could start with minutes. In any case, 12 plus 3, it's going to be 15 hours. And 40 plus 50 is going to be 90 minutes. Well, when we look at the smaller units, 90 minutes, I have enough minutes to make up 1 full hour. Well, how many minutes do make up an hour? 60, right? So if I take away 60 minutes, I can convert those into 1 hour. See how those are the same right there? And now I end up with 16 hours and 30 minutes. And that right there would be our final mixed units answer. So hopefully this makes sense, right? We had, it's like we carried these 60 minutes over, but it doesn't come out as 60, it's just 1 full hour because we're not dealing with base 10 like we do with basic addition and subtraction. We're dealing in essentially base 60s with these minutes like this. And the other types of units will be different, right? Like if you deal with pounds and ounces, it's 16 ounces in a pound. Or like feet and inches, right? It's 12 inches in a foot. Now, as far as I know, we only do this with U.S. units and time. We don't really do it with metric units because the conversions are so easy. So here's another addition problem. But again, this is in feet and inches. So again, I don't need to convert anything right now or worry about combining things yet. I'm just going to write this out with the mixed units. 16 feet, 6 inches. 12 feet, 10 inches. And 29 feet, 9 inches. Now, hopefully you guys are seeing that we're just lining up similar units with each other, just like you would with place values if you were to add or subtract them vertically like this. Now we can add all the units together, and it doesn't matter if one's more or less than the other, okay? 6 plus 10 plus 9, I'm starting with inches. 6 plus 10 plus 9, I get 25 inches. And with feet, 16 plus 12 plus 29, what the heck, that's 8, 17, carry the 1, 57. So right now, I have 57 feet, 25 inches. Well, 25 inches is more than 1 foot. So I can, right now, I can take off 12 inches off of that because it's 12 inches in a foot and add 1 foot, which is going to make that 58 feet and 13 inches. Now, yes, I did try to save myself some space there, but not enough. And some of you guys know why I did that is because 13 inches is also more than 1 foot. So not only do I need to take that out, but I need to take the next foot out another 12 inches and add that into the feet instead. So 13 minus 12 is 1 inch. 58 plus 1 is 59 feet. So the more appropriate answer for this one, 59 feet, 1 inch, instead of 57 feet, 25 inches. If you were looking at this problem and you said, look, I don't need to do it twice, I can do it once, because 24 inches is 2 feet, you can subtract 24 inches and make that 1 inch, add 2 feet there, that's fine, it still works. The reason that I have minus 12 inches there and add 1 foot is because I'm converting 12 of these 25 inches into this 1 foot. So I have to take those 12 inches away and carry it into the feet, just like we would with regular addition, but now the units have changed. So yeah, it is the same as 57 feet, 25 inches. I guess my explanation would be to say that it's not formal, right? Like instead of saying 57 feet, 25 inches, like if you were to measure this like as rope, right? Like you added all this together as rope. Yeah, and that's a good point. If you were converting this into straight inches, maybe that would make more sense just to convert the 57 feet into inches. But in a pure mathematical sense on this as well, we would say that what we have in purple right there is not fully simplified because there are some feet in this number of inches that I need to convert. All right, so now, yeah, we're looking at subtraction here. So I got 19 pounds. Again, I'm using P instead of LB just so we can see the difference, and 14 ounces. And we're going to subtract the 10 pounds, 15 ounces. Now, in case we don't remember, I'll write this up here. 1 pound is the same as 16 ounces. That's a conversion factor. Again, on a test, you would have a reference chart for that. But right away, we notice that the 14 ounces, I'm taking away 15 ounces. I don't have enough ounces to take away 15. So what do I need to do? I'm going to look at the 19 right here, and I'm going to borrow one of those pounds, okay? So just like we do with subtraction, I'm going to borrow one of these pounds to make this 18 instead. But how many ounces make a pound? Well, we see 1 pound is 16 ounces. So I'm going to add actually 16 pounds to the 14, making this 18 pounds, 30 ounces. Now, again, if this was an answer, would be considered informal or unsimplified. But since I'm just operating with it, it's okay right now. And yeah, we're doing subtraction right here. So I've changed the problem, right? Or the way that it looks, not its equivalence. It's still equivalent. So instead of 19 pound 4 ounces, I've now changed it into 18 pounds 30 ounces. Well, now I have enough ounces to take away 15 of them. And if I start with ounces, 30 minus 15 is 15 ounces. And then the pounds, 8 minus 10 is 8 pounds. So I get 8 pounds, 15 ounces. Now, I would just double check, like, do I have enough ounces to make a pound? No, I need 16 of them. So that's looking pretty good right there. And we did the subtraction. That's pretty good. With subtraction, we see the need for borrowing instead of carrying in this case. Now, I like these types. Let's set it up so we can see. 20 pounds, 11 ounces. And then 9 pounds, 10 ounces. And we are subtracting these. Well, in this case, I do have enough ounces to take away the 10 ounces, which is nice. I don't need to borrow it, actually. 11 minus 10 is 1 ounce. 20 minus 9 is 11 pounds. That's it. That's all we needed to do on this one. No need to borrow, no need to carry. It was just straight subtraction. All right, the flight from Phoenix to Denver was 1 hour, 18 minutes, and connects from Denver to Charlotte, whose flight was 3 hours, 56 minutes. All right. There wasn't a question in this, but I assume we want to know how long it took to get from Phoenix to Charlotte. So let's do that. Okay, so from Phoenix to Charlotte. Okay, now a diagram may be appropriate on this one. First, we're going to go from Phoenix to Denver. And then from Denver to Charlotte. I know it's not proportional, not that I think you care and I don't care. But we got 2 legs to this trip, right? We got Phoenix to Denver, which is 1 hour, 18 minutes. And again, I'm just going to reiterate. I know not everyone needs a chart, but hopefully it kind of helps us to understand what's going on here. And you got 3 hours and 56 minutes to Charlotte from Denver. So from Phoenix to Denver, from Denver to Charlotte, how much total time did that take? Well, it's set up for us pretty good. Let's look at Phoenix to Denver first, 1 hour, 18 minutes. And we will add the amount of time it takes from Denver to Charlotte, which is 3 hours, 56 minutes. Now, for some of you, you already realize that we have too many minutes, right? Or in other words, we can carry at least some of the minutes into some number of hours. But let's just add these to see what we need. So that would be 4 hours. And there's a 4, carry the 1, 74 minutes. 74 minutes is longer than 1 hour. So I need to take away 60 of those minutes. Or really, again, I'm just converting those 60 minutes into hours. So I'm going to add an hour from those 60 minutes to make this 5 hours. And that's going to be 14 minutes. There we go. Lindsay and Matt went to the movies together, but watched different movies that started at the same time. Lindsay's movie is really long, 4 hours and 18 minutes. Matt's movie is much shorter, 1 hour 10 minutes. How long did Matt have to wait for Lindsay's movie? So, Matt's movie is obviously shorter, so he's going to have some wait time on there. How long did he wait? That's going to be a subtraction problem, right? So if I take Lindsay's movie, which was 4 hours and 18 minutes, and of that 4 hours, 18 minutes, Matt did not have to wait the 1 hour, 10 minutes. So to figure out how much he did have to wait, I'll subtract these. So 4 hours minus 1 hour is 3 hours. And 18 minus 10, we can do this directly, so no need to borrow in this case. 8 minutes. So it looks like Matt waited 3 hours and 8 minutes for Lindsay's movie to start. Looks like he could have watched his movie another 2 times at least. At the track meet, Carl participated in the high jump event. His 3 jumps were 7 feet 7 inches, 6 feet 9 inches, and 7 feet 10 inches. What is the total height of his 3 jumps? And yes, that's not really how track meets work, but let's just add these together because they told us to. So we got 3 jumps, right? The first one, 7 feet 7 inches. Second jump, 6 feet 9 inches. These are pretty high, actually. And then finally, 7 feet 10 inches. Well, we want to know the total of his 3 jumps, which means we're going to add these values together. So start with feet or inches. It's not going to matter. 7 plus 6 plus 7 is 20 feet. 7 plus 9 plus 10 is 26 inches. Now again, from this 26 inches, I know I have more than 1 foot. So I'm going to take away these 12 inches and convert that into feet. Well, that would make 21 feet and 14 inches. But 14 inches is still more than 12. So I can change that or convert 14 of those inches into a foot. So I'm going to take 12 of those inches away and add a foot in, which makes this 22 feet 2 inches. All right, here's another word problem. 2 pieces are cut from a board that is 16 feet in length. The first piece is 4 feet 10 inches long, and the second piece is 3 feet 9 inches long. What is the length of the remaining piece? So there's a few different ways students go about doing this problem. Try this one out. We'll give you guys 1 minute and see if you can find the length of that remaining piece. And we'll discuss a couple of the different methods that students generally choose in solving a problem like this one. All right, 1 minute, go. So again, a diagram, I don't know if it's super helpful, but hopefully it helps some of you. So if this would be the full board that we started with, 16 feet, right? Now we're going to take off 4 feet 10 inches. We'll see that's this green board. And also another, and it doesn't matter, you could take it off this edge over here. I'm just going to set them next to each other though. So we'll take off this 3 feet 9 inches right there. All right, so the remaining piece would be, well, this one right here, however long it is. And you could say it's X if you wanted to use an equation. I'm not going to. So some students, what they'll do is they're going to combine these 2 lengths together and just subtract that from 16. You could. Other students would take the 16 and subtract the 1 board and then the second, and then the remainder is the remaining piece of board. And I don't really know that there's a best way to do it, or even to consider one more easy is really up to you guys. So, if I were to think about this one, I probably would take the strategy of combining the green and red boards right there, because that's how much I took off of the full piece. So I'm going to take my 4 feet 10 inches, and I'm going to add the 3 feet 9 inches. Now you may be wondering why I'm adding, and that is because they were both taken off. So we're combining those two to figure out how much was taken off. So yeah, we're going to add these together, by the way. That would be 7 feet 19 inches. Now I get 19 inches out of this, but I know those 12 of those 19 inches can be converted into a foot. So we'll make that a little bit smaller, and I need to take away, see if I can find a decent color on this. Take away 12 of these inches to convert into a foot. So now I've got 8 feet 7 inches. So the two boards that we cut off total in length 8 feet 7 inches. So now I'm ready to go to my original 16 feet, and I'm going to take that 8 feet 7 inches, and we'll have to subtract it from 16 feet. Now that's 16 feet 0 inches, which some of you guys recognize. I don't have enough inches to take away 7. So what am I going to do? I need to borrow from the 16 right there. Need to borrow from the 16. So I'm going to take away one of these feet, right, and make that 15 feet. And instead of 0 inches, we're going to make that 12 inches. So rewriting this, I get 15 feet 12 inches because it still has the length of 16 feet. And I am going to subtract that 8 feet 7 inches. So yeah, let's go and subtract these. 12 minus 7 is 5 in inches. 15 minus 8 is 7. Let me think on this. It feels like I did something incorrect. Hold on. Well, in my mind, that's not working out, but looks like I may be incorrect there. So that remaining piece of board looks like it will be 7 feet 5 inches. Yep, that seems good.